Hello and welcome to Yin Yoga short forms. In our first class, we're going to be practicing on the floor. Props that you may need is a yoga mat, but it's not essential if you've got a nice carpeted floor. I'm using a folded up blanket under my head, but once again, you may or may not use this. Let's come onto our back into this pose of constructive rest. So knees are bent, feet are hips distance apart. I'm going to be here for a nice 5 minutes. And just find the hands onto the belly, maybe close the eyes. And just be aware of the soles of the feet against the earth. And a sense of not needing to do too much. This class will be a good class to do if you're feeling the need to find the support from the earth, from gravity, from the floor. You've done it any time of day. And just notice the contact of the feet against the earth. And without really doing anything, just melt the soles of the feet into the earth. Notice if anything else joined in with you then. So I notice my shoulders softening. That might have just been my body, but it could be your body too. And bringing your awareness up to the pelvis. Notice the back of the pelvis against the earth. And just like you did with the feet, soften the pelvis into the earth. Have a weight of this pelvis melting down. Notice if anything else joins in with you. And then be aware of the tissues at the back of the body. Be aware of anything that's in contact with the earth. Melt all of the tissues into your mat, into the earth beneath you. And just imagine these tissues at the back of your body, inviting all the other tissues above them to come with them. Front body, melting into back body, whole body melting into the earth. And I love the term constructive rest. So often we struggle to find time for rest. Some of us know we need it, but it's right down at the bottom of our to-do list. Some of us perhaps don't value it as much as doing and miss those opportunities to rest. The practice of yin yoga, this slower, quieter, stiller practice, gives us an opportunity to listen. Listen to what your body has to say. Listen to this inner voice, this inner wisdom, this inner physician, your intuition. Or maybe if that's not what's speaking to you, maybe listening to the tissues and the muscles of your body. Noticing sensations, noticing connections, noticing discomfort, noticing absence of sensation. And so it's maybe in time we translate into an absence of, translate into a sense of space. There isn't an absence of sensation, there's just a sensation of spaciousness. So if we stay here about another 30 seconds, just keep listening. Keep traveling around your body. Keep tuning into where it is today. Every time we come to our mat, our body is in a different state. And then from this pose of constructive rest, a nice little supine sequence which will work into the hips and to twist. The first place is we're going to take this right foot and bring it to the top of the left thigh. As you do that, just let this right leg relax. And as we relax, this right thigh bone rolls out. This is external rotation into the hips. So how far your right thigh bone rolls out will depend on the natural bony genetic makeup of your hip. But pause here for a moment. And even in this, notice if there's any sensations arising around the hip joint. The place we want to be mindful of is our knee. And some of us benefit from a gentle spreading through the sole of the foot and a gentle flexing of the foot, but don't go too much. Just keep it a sense of opening through the sole of the foot. And maybe there's enough sensations here. Maybe this feels good in the back and there's a gentle opening into the hip. Or maybe you'd like to take this further into this thread the needle posture, where we bring this shape towards us, interlace the hands at the back of the left thigh. Some of us might like to interlace the hands at the front of the left shin. Now, if you do this, this seems to be my tendency here, the head goes back, the eyes go back. Do something about that. So you could put a block or cushion under the head, but you want to be able to soften the chin in. So personally, I say soften the space. If bringing the leg up just is too much, causes discomfort in the knee or the head is coming back, then you could rest this foot onto a bolster, which might just happen to be handy. So this could be your shape here. So it will be a 3-minute hold, of which we've started about a minute and a half in. And just breathing into those areas of sensation. And just explore where your edge is today. So the edge is that elastic limit within your body. A place where you can hold the stretch, you can take those sensations of stretch, you can take the stresses, the useful stress that you're putting on the tissues of the body, but you're not fighting or gripping against it. You're not wishing you're never committed to coming so deep into this pose. You're not holding your breath or gritting your teeth or shortening tissues into the back of the neck or throwing the head back. It's somewhere you can just be. Be with the breath and tuning into those sensations, into listening into your body, because nobody knows your body better than you. Isn't that a nice thought? You know your body the best. I'm going to be here now for about 3 more breaths. Check how you feel about that. If it's like I can marinate here for those 3 breaths, that sounds good. Or if it's like oh my God, 3 more breaths. Well, if it's the latter response, I'd say just soften your edge, back away from the edge. As we bring this left foot to the floor now, we're going to take a twist. So if you want to, you can shimmy the hips a little bit over to the right. That may or may not work for you. Play around with it if you're not sure. And we're going to drop the leg shape, which hasn't changed, over to the left. And that right foot's come to the floor. Arms are wherever they are comfortable. So maybe they're down the side of the body. Maybe they're coming higher up into those cactus arms. Just be somewhere again. We're going to be here for just a little over 2 minutes. Just be somewhere where you aren't fighting against it. So you can feel those rivers of sensation. You can listen into the body. What's your body saying today? And we have to peel through those layers of stories that we think our body might be saying to us. Listen into, is this edge where I want to be? Because if you brought the legs over and it feels too strong, you could uncross the legs and just let knees fall over to the left. You could put a block or a bolster underneath your left thigh to just soften through this shape, or a block underneath your right foot. The slower, steadier pace of yin gives us time to listen. Listen in. You imagine you coming from the skin down, deep down into those tissues of your body. I've come to listen to you. What do you have to say today? But sometimes we definitely arrive in a pose and our practice of yin, and it's like, I can just lie here and marinate in this pose all day. And other days we're a little more twitchy, and the practice of yin's a bit more of a challenge. Let's take one more breath. Bringing those legs back to center, bringing the pelvis back to center, keeping that right leg where it is. As we take this over to the right now. Once again, play around with the arms. Maybe they'll move this time, or maybe they stay overhead or into that cactus shape. Again, it's another 2 minutes, just over 2 minute hold here. An internal rotation into our left leg, and notice those sensations down the left side of the body. Maybe there's some padding under the knee here, maybe there's not. You know your body better than anyone. Listen into those tissues. And at first, we're not sure where to listen, and we begin to hone in. And sensations sometimes shift, or sometimes they intensify. We need to back off, or sometimes they dissipate and we can fall more deeper into the shape. And that's not the goal of the pose, to get deeper into the shape. And the goal of any practice of yoga is to bring balance to the body. When we practice yin yoga, we're acknowledging the need for a slower, stiller practice. A practice that allows us to move deeper into the body, move deeper into those tissues. And when we practice from the floor, it's like this additional layer of support, like gravity saying, I've got you while you deal with this, while you explore yourself. Taking just one more breath. And then coming back to center, undoing your right leg, and either staying into that constructive rest pose, or if you like, you might like to rebound fully into Shavasana as a moment of reset, a moment of rebound between these two sides. And then let's explore the other side. So we're bending up those legs. Again, back into our moment of constructive rest. Yin teaches us you don't need to rush here, there, and everywhere. Bringing that left foot now to the top of the right thigh. And once again, just let this left thigh bone fall away, not through any form of doing, but a form of undoing. And that undoing is very yin, doing is very yang. Notice some of us easily fall into the action of letting go, and some of us resist. Notice where you are with that today. And then maybe you stay here, maybe there's enough sensation. If you want to move deeper into this shape, we'll bring this right leg towards us. Interlacing hand at the back of the right knee or front of the right shin. Just watch for that head coming back. Listen to the quality of tissues into the back of the neck. Some of us prefer maybe to bring this bolster, block, or even a wall or a chair, and be here with the pose. Just find your edge wherever it is today. Maybe we benefit from just creating a little bit of space and supporting the knee joint by gently spreading through the sole of the left foot. But watch the busybody big toe. Often our big toes like to get over involved. So try to have the action of spreading through the sole of the foot and not let your big toe dominate. Gently working right thigh bone towards you as the left thigh bone moves away. Listen to your body. Listen to your stories. What arises here? You know, what commonly arises is, oh, this feels easier than the other side, or this feels different, or this feels challenging. This is my good hip, this is my bad hip. Notice that dialogue. And listen to that dialogue. It's important to listen to it. And then let it go. There's no such thing as good or bad hip. They just naturally are not symmetrical beings. Naturally have different ranges of motion from one side to the other. I'm going to take one more breath. And then we're bringing the right foot down. Once again, as we come into this little twisting sequence, you might want to shimmy the hips a little bit over to the left as you bring your sole of your left foot to the earth here. If that feels too much, that could be up onto a block or a bolster here, maybe a bolster under this leg here. The arms are just, wherever they are comfy, down the side of the body, shoulder height, cactus arms, overhead. Where do you want to be with this today? And again, we're just roughly holding this for 2 minutes. And where does the head go? Well, the head could look to the left, the head could gaze to the sky, could look to the right. There isn't a definitive answer. The answer is, where does your body want to go today? Can you listen to your body? And I'd like to think that yin yoga is the art of listening to your body. And why, therefore, should we just set that listening aside for yin yoga? That all aspects of our yoga practice, all aspects of our life, can we listen to our body? But yin's like the training ground for that. We suddenly have a practice that gives us the time and permission. So we commit to a shape, we commit resolve to be still, coming to that place we call our edge. Now, if we've miscalculated our edge or the edge shifts, then you know what? It's okay to back off. It's okay to move in deeper, because that's all part of the art of listening. Not listening would be, well, you've chosen to come here. It feels too intense, but we're gonna just be still for 3 minutes now and tough. That's not listening. So it's listening with compassion, and compassion for your body, compassion for yourself, definitely is something that many of us need to practice. As we take one more breath, bringing the shape of the legs back to center, just re-leveling up your pelvis if you need to. And let's take this shape over to the left now. Again, that left knee coming towards the floor. Maybe it finds the floor, maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's a bolster, maybe there's a block underneath. And then the internal rotation now into our right hip. Nice twisting action into the spine. Moving from the floor with this real sense of support from gravity, and just continue to let those tissues in the body go. And keep listening in. And then when we listen, when we really listen without judgment. Listen without offering advice, just listen. Listen. Listen and respond to where your body wants to go. This is an art in itself. And in our slower practice, there's just time to talk a little bit more deeper to the body. Time to listen. You might get out, well, I've been trying to tell you for some time, but you haven't been still for long enough. Too busy talking. That's what my children say. You're too busy talking. You're not listening to me, mummy. And then coming back to center. And again, we will rebound back either into the constructive rest, this rebound moment, part of the practice, part of the reset, or maybe into a full shavasana if you want to lengthen the legs straight. And then our final pose in this class is happy baby, which is quite an intense pose. So we'll do it for a 2-minute hold again. And there will be some variations. So let's explore what our happy baby might look like. First, soft variation is just to bring the hands and knees, big toes together, like a supine Baddha Konasana. This might really serve you. Otherwise, taking the soles of the feet to the sky, you might take the first 2 fingers around the big toe, the outer edge of the foot, the inner edge of the foot. If you're not sure, have a play. Trying to use the weight of the arm bones. So the arms aren't up by the ears, the shoulders, blades are having contact with the earth. We use the weight of the arm bones to gently tease these hips down, thighs down. Some of us benefit from being more here with the hands onto the thighs if you can't take the knees. So I'm going to start my 2-minute counter. So it's probably a bit longer than 2 minutes. Soles of the feet to the sky. You're in this full pose. Check in. You know, the art of listening is you know where to go to listen. And the first place I always go is into the neck and into the face. So if I'm bracing against something, I'll tend to have a head back, eyes back, tissue shortening into the back of the neck, response to something. Whereas what I want to feel is a softness in the tissue for the back of the neck, a softness into the face, into the jaw, a gentle drawing in of the chin into the throat center space. Then other places of these shoulders, what are these shoulders up to? You know, here, I'm going to hold this pose and ignore my body. Whereas I want to be more here. In a place where there is sensation, for sure. There's a strong into the inner groin. But in a place where I can be here, be at my edge, and not fight against this edge, rest in my edge, an appropriate level of stress into my body. And remember, just because we've resolved to be still, you can come out of these poses sooner if you like. Otherwise, it's 3 more breaths. Happy baby is always one of those poses I'm happy to have done. And then releasing the legs, one foot and then the other foot. Rediscovering our constructive rest or rediscovering our Shavasana. Just taking a few more moments here. Just feeling the tissues of the back of the body melt into the earth. The tissues of the front of the body melt into the earth. Thanking yourself for finding some time to come to the floor and practice yin yoga.